Hey folks, welcome to Chilling Devotion, another visual novel horror game. Basically about a little bit of obsession. I'll probably have like a little warning, if there were, I believe there was a warning about this, but this is going from day one, or we're playing day one and playing day two. So as the updates come, we can revisit this if you guys would like to, but I hope you're doing well. Thanks for joining me. Let's just get into it. Day 1, unexpected guests. Alright. The car's engine purred softly as it glided along the snow-covered road, creating a rhythmic hum that harmonized with the tranquility of the winter landscape. The world outside seemed hushed, and still if nature itself had been silenced by a blanket of pristine snow. It was really pretty. Through the windshield, the scene unfolded like a postcard come to life. The snow-laden trees stood tall, their branches delicately adorned with glistening crystals. Each limb reached out towards the sky as if yearning to touch the falling snowflakes. The weight of the snow bent some branches, creating graceful arches that framed the road ahead. As the car made its way through the winter wonderland, the snowscape seemed to stretch out infinitely in every direction. The vastness of the scenery was both awe-inspiring and humbling. You continue to look around and wonder from the warmth and comfort of your vehicle. Yeah, that's like the best time to view the snow, is from the warmth and comfort of my car, or my home. For you, this is a whole new experience, coming from a busy city life. The Little Cub Cabin Retreat. It was advertised as the coziest escape in the heart of snowy mountain wilderness. Unplug and experience the tranquility and the unforgettable views of snow-capped peaks and towering pine trees right outside your window. It sounded like exactly what you needed at the time, and you immediately booked a cabin just for a week. You look down at the directions you downloaded again. Turn onto Little Cub Trail, and it's the first cabin on the left. You slow the car as you approach a sign. Some of the letters of Little Cub peek out from under the snow. You turn into the trail and your car bumps along the unpaved snowy dirt path. You look around attentively for the first cabin you see through the increasing snowfall. Oh crap. The wind suddenly starts whipping the snow around with fever, and the road ahead of you quickly disappears. You feel a pang in your chest at the sight and your breath quickens. Your eyes begin darting between the trees looking for this damn cabin. So much for the forecast of light snow today. Hopefully you get there soon in case the snow gets worse. Oh, finally! You had been looking forward to this getaway for a couple weeks, and there it is. You take some time to fully take in the exterior from the safety of your car. I mean, it looks safe. Now, the idea of a private snowy cabin makes you I'm gonna say relaxed. You rented out a cabin for a week to get away from your troubles back in reality. You can just appreciate nature and do some things that you haven't been able to do in a while. There's so much you can do, like reading next to the fire, or going on a hike to see some of the sights they talked about on the website. If the snow isn't whipping my face, yeah. You don't remember the last time you just had some quiet time to yourself. It's time to relax and rest, finally. You squint through the falling snow, trying to make out the numbers on the cabin. The snow is really starting to come down quickly, and you feel an urgency to get indoors. Snow had covered the sign, but this one looked like the picture in the booking, so you pulled onto the snow-covered path. You feel a wave of relief to finally arrive. The drive of the mountain was like Rainbow Road, and then the snow, while beautiful, made for an even more challenging drive. Your little cabin is surrounded by trees, and there are no neighbors in sight. A large stretch of wilderness ensures you plenty of privacy. You hurriedly lug your stuff out of your car, up to the cabin. It's not much, just a suitcase for the week. Looking at the snow, maybe you should have packed even thicker winter clothes. The icy environment chills the delicate skin on your face. You bound up to the cabin, eager to get out of the cold. Ah, it's already unlocked. Is this normal for remote cabins? Well, this seems cozy. As you step inside, the warmth of being out in the elements immediately greets you, but it could certainly be warmer. Well, let's get a fire going. You set down your things by the door and quickly set about lighting a fire in the fireplace. Conveniently, there's some wood and a lighter by the hearth. I've rented cabins before, like, out in the wilderness. I don't remember it being unheard of to get wood and, like, matches or something, but of course, like, during booking, you had to tell them that's what you wanted. So, I guess I wouldn't think that's too weird. You take in the cabin's interior, and it's as cozy as described, if not a bit more messy than expected. Did they not clean up the place? There's stuff still laid out on the table. It looks like a napkin, some berries, a book. Looks like the place hasn't been swept in a while, too. It has a lived-in feel and is ready for someone to move in. The warm glow from the hearth dancing across the rustic wood walls and furniture was cozy and inviting. Some books are resting on the worn wooden table and shelves. What the hell was that sound? Maybe that was my imagination. You hurry over to inspect the tiny kitchenette, and you are pleasantly surprised that it is fully stocked. Wow, it looks like mystery meat and a lot of junk food. Still, that's pretty generous of the people running this place. You had expected to get food later in town when the snow let up. It's a bit of a drive, but there is a small town with a grocery store around here. Yeah, that would be immensely pleasant to just have somebody have at least, like, a little bit of food, because traveling just stresses me out, and the last thing I want to have to do is, like, go get my own stuff. I'm so lazy, but I probably would have already packed a lot of stuff anyway, realistically speaking. You can look more closely around the rest of the cabin later. Right now you just wanted a warm drink. You look in the kitchen's drawer and find a couple of options to choose from. All of them are of the instant drink variety, but beggars can't be choosers. What do you want to drink? Ooh. I'm always down for a nice hot cup of tea. You grab a packet of an instant tea, then you find a pot and start to heat some water on the gas stove. It's been a while since you've used one of these. You check your phone and there's no signal. You do spot a landline on the countertop if you need to call anyone. I am hearing so many sounds. Been a while since you've seen one of those too. Another reminder of how far from civilization you are. The pot of water simmers on the stove and you pour some into a cup for your tea. The smell of the tea fills the room and the warmth of the cup warms your frozen hands. The windows rattle suddenly and you jump from your thoughts. The snowing from earlier has really picked up into a storm now, the heavy fall of snow blurring the landscape out the window. The wind howls and rattles the windows again. The sharp, erratic burst made you flinch every time. Snow now slams against the cabin in chaotic flurries. You wonder if the windows would hold against the storm's fury. I would hope so. That's a bit concerning, but it's a perfect contrast to the safety of the cabin. The cabin was a small sanctuary that was holding back the icy wilderness beyond its walls. Luckily, you have food here and it made it before the weather took a turn for the worst. I don't know why. Snowed in or not, you were planning on bunkering down here initially anyway. Just as you start settling in near the hearth of your hot drink, there's a knocking at the door. You snap your head towards the sound and you feel your heart racing with fear. You weren't expecting anyone, and the thought of a stranger out here in the middle of nowhere during a snowstorm sent a shiver down your spine. But maybe it was the cabin host, or someone that needed help. You set down your drink on the table gently and look towards the door. What will you do now? Oh! Who is it? You try to calm your nerves while you wait for an answer. And an answer doesn't come. Open the door. That is so cool that there's a bar at the top, and I basically have to make an answer, and once I make an answer, this bar doesn't reset. It just keeps going. You take a deep breath and make your way to the door, steeling yourself for whoever's on the other side. Ah! When you open the door, you're greeted by a tall figure wearing a mask, their expression hidden. Your breath catches in your throat at the looming sight, fear threatening to overwhelm you. a biting and cold wind rushes in from the cracked open door. The unknown visitor is bundled in thick clothes and covered in snow. The huffs of their breath still show through their mask. Hi, can I help you? Yeah. The fingers say nothing. The figure says nothing, the silence somehow chilling the air further. You reflectively take a step back and grip the door's handle, ready to slam the door shut and lock it. Oh. The stranger seems to notice this and slams his hand on the door, preventing you from closing it. At the sudden movement, you freeze. Your fear takes over and you feel your body tense up like a statue. Your eyes widen looking at the stranger and even your breath stops in your chest. I didn't want to attack him and I didn't want to run. My damn door's open. Unless I was going to run to my car, but he's kind of potentially blocking the only exit unless I'm going to fly out a window. To your horror, the stranger reaches over to grip your arm, which is still holding onto the door. You're still too shocked to do anything. His hands are strong but not painful, and they anchor you firmly in place in front of him. His face is unreadable, neither angry nor amused, just unreadable. The storm outside howls louder as if taunting you in this situation. What do you do now? Please let me go. Please let me go. The stranger's grip on your arm tightens. I'm afraid I can't do that. A chill runs through you as you hear that low, cold, and menacing voice. There's a slight southern drawl to it. His words hang heavy in the air, mingling with your labored breaths and the roar of the winds. Just as you're starting to feel lightheaded, the stranger adds, matter-of-factly, especially not in this weather. There's a snowstorm. You won't survive out there alone. You won't even make it 5 minutes in the storm by the looks of you. Okay, first off, you don't have to be so damn disrespectful and rude. Huh? He suddenly lets go of you. The action is so sudden that you stumble back into the cabin's interior and the stranger takes a step in. The stranger's masked face remains unreadable as they shut the door behind them, sealing you both inside. Yeah. The stranger pulls down his mask to reveal his face. I like the sweater, or the long-sleeve shirt. He begins dusting off the snow from his clothes and goes to hang up his overcoat by the door, naturally. I'm Jim. This is my place. Oh. You stare speechlessly as this casual statement, as if he's not aware of the scare he just gave you. What's your name? I'll tell you my name. What is your name? Des. Des. There's an awkward beat before he gestures for you to take a seat by the fireplace. I don't want to sit down. Jim looks like he wants to say something but stops himself. Then reluctantly he replies, Okay, that's fine. You both stand there awkwardly until he nervously speaks up. I'm real sorry about before. It's okay, it's just all a misunderstanding. You really scared me. I'm so sorry, I must have gotten turned around in the snow. Why did you knock on your own door and didn't say anything earlier? Yeah. Jim looks away guiltily and then hurriedly explains himself. I saw your car and I was trying not to scare you, just trying to let you know I'm there. Then you would have answered me. And then when I saw you, I got nervous. This guy did all that because he got nervous? You were taken aback by the contrast of the man in front of you and your first impression of him. Besides that, you're still confused about how all of this happened. Okay, so you're in the wrong cabin, let's go. He gestures again towards the chair by the fireplace. Please, I'll answer the best I can. Promise. I'm gonna sit down. I'm gonna give this man a chance. You stiffly follow his suggestion and sit down in the chair with a creak. He takes off his hat and dusts off the snow before following you and taking a seat as well. You are both sitting by the hearth now after your misunderstanding. You feel a mixture of adrenaline and embarrassment. So, what I think happened? Jim thinks for a moment and speaks more quietly because of self-consciousness about his voice, about how his voice sounds. His voice still comes out in a low rumble. Were you trying to go to that tiny bear house? You mean Little Cub Cabin? Then yes. Right. You went too far down the trail then. Oops. Probably missed it with all the snow and pine. Easy to happen when the snow gets like this. Your face burned with embarrassment at your mistake and the whole misunderstanding. So much for a relaxing getaway. That makes sense. An awkward silence stretches between you two until Jim speaks up again. I think the storm will pass in a couple of days. You can stay here until then. You're okay with me just hanging out at your house? A couple of days? You sit there and process what's happened. I guess I don't have a choice. Thank you so much. I'm not staying here. Let's just be kind. Thank you so much. Oh, he has a little bit of a smile. Jim nods, a small smile tugging at the corner of his lips. As if you have a choice, but now you feel even more grateful after inconveniencing your cabin neighbor. At least he seemed to be nonchalant about the whole situation. It can get lonely out here sometimes. Haven't had company in a long time. You nod back, feeling a bit more at ease now that you know he's not some deranged stranger. If anything, you are the stranger in his house now, and yet he's being so welcoming. Jim moves a stand and starts gesturing around the room. So, the bathroom is in the corner there. Oh, and feel free to put your things in the spare room over there on your right. My room's the one to your left by the front door. It's not much, but you're safe here. Jim points to the pot on the stove next. I'll have some hot cocoa too after all of that. Want your tea reheated since you've helped yourself to some already? You groan at any reminders of your unfortunate beginnings here. Never mind. Sure, thanks. I wonder if we, hang out with him a little bit longer, if he'll tell us more. I mean, there's not much to tell. I broke into his home. Jim gives you a curt nod and grabs your cup. Things are still pretty awkward, but it was kind of sweet that he was trying to be a good host. How about you check out your room while I reheat the drinks? You nod and grab your luggage to take to your room. Are you gonna, poison my drink? Ew. That is something right here. This wolf painting, wolf picture thing. The room is small, but just as cozy as the rest of the cabin. Simple with its furnishing, but it's all you need. It's minimally decorated like the rest of his cabin, but it has a bed, a nightstand, and a lamp. And now it has your suitcase and belongings in a corner. You sit down on the bed with a creak. The bed feels impossibly soft beneath you, urging your tense muscles from earlier to uncoil. You let out a long breath, and your hand traces absent-mindedly over the quilted blanket. Its fabric is worn, but comforting. What a situation. You hear the muffled clattering of Jim in the kitchen and snow battering against the walls. This was not what you had expected at all, and you wonder how it'll all go. Your tea is ready. Jim's voice from the other room pulls you from your thoughts, and you get up to join him. You sit across from Jim as he hands you a reheated cup. Jim cradles his own mug in his hands, savoring its warmth before taking little sips. His posture is more relaxed, but he still seems a bit shy. You get a better look at him now, and that things are less tense. His pale hair is damp and disheveled from the snowstorm, and he keeps it pretty long. His eyes flick to you occasionally before glancing back down at his drink. Sorry, I'm not used to having company, I guess. What do you do? Ask him some questions, continue the silence. Ask him if he'd like to talk or stay silent. Would you like to talk? That's alright. I'm quite the, unexpected guest right now. What would you prefer? We can just enjoy the silence if you'd like. Oh, well, of course. I don't mind not talking. But since this is a bit of a special occasion, I'd like to try talking. If that's aight with you. Aight. I'm not really sure where to start, though. Jim looks at you expectantly. He's hopeful that you'll start the conversation. So... Alright, what were you doing outside in the snow? I wonder if I can ask all of these. Do you live out here all the time? The storm seems pretty rough. What do you do out here? You said you don't see many people around here? You're done asking. Let's just start from the top and let's see if it'll let us... What were you doing in the snow? Just checking some traps I sent out in the woods nearby. Traps? Traps for small game like rabbits and such. Mostly. Nothing in the traps today. Probably all hiding from the storm. Oh, I see. That would explain the mystery game meat in the fridge earlier. It's human! This man's hunting people. So, do you live out here all the time? He glances at you and then answers while looking into the fire. Used to be not all of the time, just when I needed to get away, but now, yeah, this is where I live. His voice is steady, but there's something vulnerable in his tone, like he's not used to explaining himself. He looks angry now. Get away from what? He seems to hesitate, maybe from trying to find the right words before settling on what to say. Everything. The noise, the people, it's just too much. I get that sometimes. Realistically, yes. Sometimes people can be overwhelming. You nodded understanding, although not to the extent that Jim is talking about. I'm sure I'd miss the city eventually. But I get it. It's why I wanted to come out here too, just needed a break from it all sometimes. Jim's lips twitched into a faint smile, and for the first time since talking, his gaze holds yours for a while. This side eye looks horrifically sinister. And instead you end up in the wrong cabin. Laugh. Your cheeks warms as you let out a soft laugh. Yeah, not exactly the peaceful getaway I had in mind. You're surprised by the rich depth of his chuckles, despite how he tried to quiet it. It sends a pleasant warmth through you. Well, I guess it's not every day you accidentally break into someone else's house. True that. The initial tension between you has melted away as you both laugh about it. I hope you do get what you came here for. You can't help but smile at his gentle words. So, the storm seems pretty rough. What do you do out here? You said you don't see many... What do you do out here? I like to be in nature and be alone. Yeah? Like hiking? I hunt and fish when the weather's better. Sometimes I make stuff. There's a town a ways from here, but I mostly just keep it to myself. His eyes dart nervously around, and you get the impression that he's not used to talking about himself like this. You decide not to get into it for now, for his sake, but you are curious. He seems like the type to say things when he's ready. So, kinda wanna... Yeah, but it should calm down in a day or two. And if you want, I can make sure you get to the right cabin then. The mountain weather can be unpredictable. One moment it's clear, then dangerous in an instant. It's snowing a bit early this year, but it's not uncommon. The snow falls hard in the wind, while it howls like it's got something to prove. You nod along at his explanation. You weren't aware of how it was in the mountains. He lets out a soft sigh before continuing, running a hand through his messy hair. I knew the second I saw you that you were not used to this. If you don't know what you're doing and you try to go out there, well, you're pretty much asking for trouble then. You notice a shift in his tone when talking about the storm. There's something protective about it. Like he's trying to prepare you or maybe even shield you from the wildness of the mountain. Just wait it out. Don't venture out if you don't have to. The storm outside wails a bit louder for a moment as if protesting, and Jim's shift gaze out the window. I've been stuck in here before. You get used to it, and then it's not so bad. You take in his word. You get the impression that he's used to navigating the chaos of the mountains, and with him, maybe you could too. So, you said you don't see many people around here. Yeah, to be honest, you're the first person I've really talked to in a couple of months. That seems like it might drive you a little crazy. Other than when I'm picking up supplies in town. He awkwardly shifts in his seat and rubs the back of his neck like he's unsure of how to continue. I guess you could probably tell with how out of practice I am with all of this social stuff. Nah, you're doing good. He gives a dry laugh, but it's not exactly a happy one. The isolation, it's easier this way, and I've never minded being by myself. It's peaceful. I don't generally like people, but it's been nice talking with you. This admission lingers in the air as you both take it in. You're touched by his openness and vulnerability in this moment. Well, I'm glad I could be the one you talk to. Jim smiles at this and takes another shy sip from his mug. A moment of warmth settles between both of you, and you feel a bit closer. So, I have no more questions. You're done asking questions for now. You both finish up the rest of your drinks in silence. Move my mouse. Jim looks at you and finally asks you a question himself. So, how are you feeling about being stuck here? He quickly looks away again while anticipating your answer. He has a complicated look on his face. I wonder why that is. He's a hard man to read. You... Jesus Christ, they're already like throwing in the romance. You like it here so far, but look forward to leaving. That... You can't wait to leaving it away from this guy. You don't want to say anything for now. There's not like a lot. I'm just gonna go for the romance one. Why not? I actually really like it here. I could see myself spending a whole stay here, honestly. It's been nice having you as company. Ollie turned red. Well, I'll be honest. I'll be honest too. I've been liking your company too. The other options just sounded horrific. Like, just kind of sounded to me like, God, I can't wait to get away from you. What I'm trying to say is, you could stay here longer, if you want. But you don't gotta decide now, and maybe your feelings will change. Although I am happy you feel that way right now. You smile at his flustered but sincere response. You guess you'll have to see how things go. Jim looks back into the flickering embers of the fire and seems to be weighing your response in his head. You wonder what he's thinking, but can't bring yourself to interpret his thoughts. You ultimately look into the fire too. The dancing flames lull you into a trance as your mind wanders. The time flows as the sun disappears from the sky and you both are left with a dying fire. At some point, you find yourself watching him. His features are softer in the firelight, warmer too than before. He looks much more friendly now that he's taken off his outerwear and is relaxing in a more casual outfit. He doesn't seem to talk much, but his voice carries a quiet intensity, like every word matters. He glances at you and catches you staring. You quickly look down at your empty mug, feeling the heat rise in your face from being caught. He doesn't say anything at first, but now you feel him observing you back. What? Nothing. You're handsome. Sorry, I didn't mean to stare. Just getting a better look at you. Jesus criminy. Let's throw caution to the wind. You're handsome. He'll probably be like, get the hell out of my cabin, you damn creeper. As the words come out of your mouth, Jim's eyes widen for a moment. His cheeks flush a soft shade of red, and he shifts awkwardly in his seat and looks back at the fire to see if he can offer him some comfort. Thanks. He clears his throat and then raises his gaze slightly up to you again. I don't really get called that a lot. There's something incredibly endearing about his genuine nervousness. But, I guess I'll take it. It's very nice of you to say. He lets out a slow breath and glances at you. You're not so bad yourself, you know. Hey, good looking. Well, thank you. I genuinely seem to like my face sometimes. Then, Jim looks into his empty mug, now cold. Well, I think I'll call it a night. Jim gets up and holds out a hand to take my empty mug from you, too, trying to be a gracious host to you. Well, thank you. You give him your cup, too, and his lips curve into a small smile. He walks to the kitchen and places both of your mugs in the tiny sink there with a clink. Then, Jim goes over to the hearth and puts out the rest of the fire before heading to his room. You get up and walk over to your room. You peer out to Jim, closing the door to your room. Jim lingers by his door and glances back at you. Okay, well, good night, Tess. Good night, Jim. Damn! Can I stay in your room? Thank you. Good night, Jim. You say your goodnights and go to your respective rooms. Yeah, I might be willing to flirt, but damn, if I'm gonna be like, you know, about 3 hours ago I was gonna throat punch you and run to my car, but hey, let's get in bed together. What kind of crazy shit? Sorry. Your door creaks as you close it all the way and you turn towards what will be your room for the next couple of days. That was much nicer than your first meeting started. You were getting to know Jim a lot more and you both are getting along. Your unexpected host is turning out to be a pleasant surprise. You change into your sleepy clothes and jump under the covers for warmth. The storm is still raging outside as much as it was earlier. You start to relax and soon the storm outside starts to sound like white noise. The events of the day are taking their toll on you. Before you arrived, you were feeling relaxed. Now, after everything that has happened, you feel attraction, grateful, hopeful, embarrassed, grateful. You're grateful for this cabin and Jim's hospitality so far. Things could have gone a lot worse, all things considered. As you think about how you feel, you drift off to sleep, wondering what the rest of the week has in store for you. The darkness takes you and you dream of being deep in the mountains. The air is vicious. Oh, that's not... thick with the scent of old blood. From the abyss, a pair of gold moon-like eyes glow from a towering figure. The shadow moves, too fluid, too silent, just beyond your grasp. The trees scream, the ground heaves, and then a sound, low, guttural, laughing. Its voice is not sound, but vibration, the hum of a wasp's nest, the groan of a noose tightening. You are such a delicate thing, a rabbit on my altar. You are the perfect sacrifice. Your breath comes fast, not with fear, but rapture. You seem to recognize something. To be known is to press your rotting heart against something equally ruined. See how we match. You barely even notice when the gnarled roots from below wrap around your legs lovingly. The forest, it screams to you. The one who dreams, the wolves. And then the darkness reaches for you. The voice calls to you once more. I'll let the whelp have you. Just for a little while. What in the absolute dog shit hell is happening with me? Alright, you are marked now. The storm listens. The trees remember. I don't like that. I'm gonna save it. Okay. You wake up with a gasp, the remnants of the dream clinging to you like frost. Moonlit eyes burned into yours from the shadows of the pines, something that knew your name with a voice like cracking ice. Unconsciously, your fingers buried into the quilt, your pulse hammering like a trapped thing. Morning light seeps through the frosted windows. You wake to the sound of the gas stove clicking on and the flash of the flames. Jim is awake, moving through the cabin with the creak of floorboards under his careful steps. The bedroom door squeaks as you step out. Jim keeps his back to you, fingers fumbling with the coffee tin like it's the most fascinating thing in the world. Ah, you're finally awake. The hell, how long was I out? You sit down at the table. Jim sets a chipped mug on the table and joins you. Steam curls from it, ghostly in the cold air. He doesn't speak. The silence stretches, taut as a tight tripwire. Des, it's for you. Jim pushes the mug towards you. An offering. What the hell's wrong with Jim? His eyes dart around the room, a nervous habit you're beginning to recognize. Take the mug. Wait for him to speak. Ooh. Let's take the mug. Let's live dangerously. The drink inside is tea, hot and fragrant, exactly as you like it. The scent wraps around you, warm and familiar. You hadn't realized how thirsty you were until now. Jim watches you intently. Drink. Pretend to drink. Refuse to drink. I'm gonna die. Excuse me. I don't want to refuse the drink. I'm not... you know what? Drink it. You take a sip from the mug and it's good. Really good. You drink a big gulp before you even realize it. Jim's shoulders unclench, just a fraction. I'm glad you like it. Jim's posture softens. He watches you with something like gratitude, his fingers tapping an absent rhythm against the table. The steam from your mug curls between you like a disorienting fog. Jim watches, not the drink, not your hands, but the space between where your lips will meet the rim. The silence stretches, charged with something unspoken. The warmth of your drink spreads throughout your chest, familiar and comforting. Is it good? How's the temperature? Could be. Damn, don't be mean. Nod that it's perfect. With pride barely hidden, a flicker of satisfaction crosses his face. He leans back in his chair, his fingers drumming once against the table. I remembered how you take it. Don't say weird shit like that. Before you know it, you've drank it all. Jim holds out his hand to take your mug, and you oblige. Then he busies himself with taking your mugs to the sink, but you catch the way his thumb rubs over the spot your lips just touched. Ah, shit. This man's gonna sacrifice me to the demonic wolf that's probably, like, out in the forest. You must be hungry. I'll make you some food to go with your drink. He crouches down and pulls out a cooler from under the sink. You think you hear the clink of a lock, but you can't see past Jim's form. That's weird. He places some ingredients on the counter. Flour, potatoes, onion, eggs, and toast. Toast. It's not too fancy, but it'll do. God, I love toast. Not like I love my dog, yes, but I love actual toast. Jim moves with quite efficiency at the stove as he layers ingredients into a cast iron pan. Go to help, watch him work. Ooh. Would he like my help? Ooh. You step beside him, reaching for a knife to chop vegetables. Jim's hand catches yours, not to stop you, just to guide your grip. Knife sharper than it looks. Here. You adjust your fingers, his palm warm against yours. Smaller cuts. They'll cook even. Look at you. You work in comfortable silence, shoulders brushing occasionally. When the meal is ready, he plates it carefully, nudging the best portions towards your side. His boot knocks lightly against yours under the table. A tiny grounding touch. We make a good team. Ooh, that looks delicious. Damn it, now I want some potatoes. The food is simple but perfect. Fluffy eggs, crispy potatoes, pancakes, toast slathered in some kind of jam. Oh, it's like late at night. I think it's about 10 o'clock, I think. No? Yeah, maybe? Yeah, I think it is. Sorry, I couldn't, like, see my clock. Jim left the jar of preserves open on the table for you, wafting a sweet scent to you, in case you wanted more. Your stomach grumbles loudly at the sight and smell. Good, you have an appetite. Go on and dig in. He doesn't eat until you do. His gaze never leaves your face. I feel like you're gonna sacrifice me to this wolf demon. Like, we've now seen twice the painting and the carving on the fireplace, and like these little tree decorations I feel like is kind of a something or another. Ah, don't put your hand up there. Jim watches you take the first bite, his fingers drumming the table until you nod approval. The pancakes are just sweet enough. The preserve tastes like blackberries and something darker. Iron? No. Oh god, is it blood? The food is delicious, but leaves you oddly drowsy. Son of a bitch. He smiles, watching you eat and noting how you feel from the look on your face. Good food will make you sleepy. Huh. Damn it, he's gonna kill me. His voice is light, but his fingers quickly tap the table twice. Like he's counting. Halfway through, he pushes his mug toward you. Try this. Before you realize it, you take a sip of his spiced tea and it's just sweet enough. When you hand it back, his thumb brushes the place your lips touched. Oh shit, is he getting weird? Both of you finish up quickly and Jim takes your plate to the sink. As he's washing up, Jim hums. The tune is unfamiliar, oddly rhythmic. You've never heard it before. Almost like a lullaby. Or a chant. When Jim notices your attention, he stops abruptly and turns away. It's just a song from my childhood. Jim pauses at the sink, looking out the window. The storm still rages, but he has a serene look on his face. Could get used to this. What, having someone around? The fireplace crackles as Jim moves to kneel by the hearth, rearranging logs with unnecessary focus. His sleeves are rolled up slightly as he works. Pale scars peek beneath the fabric. When he notices you watching, he smiles, but his fingers twitch like he's counting something under his breath. Not much to do indoors, I'm afraid. Never really had guests before. Just me and the quiet. Let's check something, make sure my... Okay. The firelight catches the edge of the wolf carving on the mantle. Yeah. I've got books. And a puzzle, if you like. Could make do? Let's have a snow fight in the front yard. Puzzle sounds nice. Do you have any novels? I'd rather just talk. Damn. A puzzle sounds nice. Seems like it likes that. Jim produces a dusty puzzle box from a cabinet and directs you to the table. The pieces are worn, the image on the box faded. A snow-laden forest, the trees too familiar, the shadows between them too deep. Found this in the cellar. Might be missing a few pieces. He spreads the pieces across the table and then settles beside you. Close, but not quite touching. The puzzle's old with some edges frayed, others darkened with age or something else. At first it's easy. Border pieces first, then the cabin emerges, crooked chimney, claw marks on the door. As fire crackles, the puzzle takes shape. A cabin, a wolf, a figure standing at the tree line. Jim's fingers move with surprising precision, slotting pieces into place before you even find their match. He's done this before then. Well, duh. He doesn't look at the box. He doesn't need to. Funny how things fit together when you know where they belong. At one point, his knees brush yours. He doesn't pull away. It's warm. Deliberate. The puzzle grows. A wolf at the tree line, golden eyes gleaming even in the dim light. Then, the figure, a silhouette standing just beyond the cabin's reach. Their hand is outstretched, holding... nothing. The piece is missing. Huh. Okay, so... here's the person. Here's the wolf. Alright, you look at the table, but there's nothing left. The figure's hand is empty. A void. That's too bad. The figure in the puzzle is holding something. A flower? A knife? That piece is gone. You ask if he knows what it is while squinting at the missing figure's hand. Not sure. I don't remember. His thumb brushes the empty space where the piece should be before leaning over to grab your hand. His gaze lowers to find yours, full of unspoken meaning. Guess some things stay lost. Are you referring to me or you, sir? You've done this before? Pull your hand away. Lean into his touch. You've done this before? Jim's smile falters, and then his thumb idly presses on your wrist, making your pulse jump. Excuse me, folks. Had a lot of time to practice. What in the hell are we talking about? Because I feel like we were talking about a puzzle, but for some reason now I'm feeling a whole different vibe, and I don't want to play that game. Nights get long when you're waiting. What? Waiting for what? Huh? Jim releases your hand. His fingers uncurl slowly as if resisting the separation. For a moment his palm hovers like he might reach back. Then he exhales, flexing his hand as if shaking off a thought. Jim studies the puzzle, lips pressed thin before pushing back from the table to get the puzzle's box. Maybe that missing piece will turn up later. His gaze lingers on the empty space where the last piece should be. Then he carefully gathers the incomplete puzzle and puts it back in its box. He stands, stretching with forced casualness. Let's see. Anything else? Do you have any novels? I'd rather just talk. Do you have any novels? Yeah. Jim smiles flickers as he goes over to his small bookcase. He runs a finger along the bookshelf, hesitating over titles like Folk Remedies of the Valley and Surviving the Wilds. Most of these are not exactly light reading. He plucks a battered novel with a pressed flower bookmark. But this one's okay. Romance. Well, sort of. He hands you the book and the flower to look at. The flower feels a bit chilly in your hand. Your imagination? I hope I don't have to remember that flower. The cover's faded, but you catch the title, The Hare in the Hollow. You flip it open to chapter 12, The First Snow. There are handwritten notes crowding the margins. Liars, promise, don't trust the moon. If you want to pause to read that, you can. But, yeah. Jim sees what you're looking at and reaches to take it back, flustered. Maybe not that one. Are you crying? How about you pick something for yourself? Are you crying? You approach the small, sparse bookcase and read the titles that you run your fingers along the spines. Wilderness survival, edible plants, the history of knot tying? Seriously? Your fingers pause on a warm leather spine tucked between two larger volumes. It doesn't have a title. When you reach for the untitled book, Jim's breath hitches. Then he laughs. Too loud. Ha, that's just my weather logs. Terrible handwriting. Here. He snatches a battered poetry collection from the shelf, thumbing it to a random page. I like this poetry book. Let's see. His voice smooths to a reverent murmur as he reads. The moon's bride forgets their name, their fingers rooted in his ribs. He stops abruptly, snapping the book shut. The fire pops. His smile doesn't reach his eyes. Yeah, that's not a good sign. Maybe let's do something else. The poetry book lies forgotten between you, and you suddenly realize that the pressed flower bookmark is still in your palm. It feels oddly cold against your skin. Jim catches you looking at the flower and gazes at you expectantly. Return it. You decide to offer it back to him with a shrug. You hold it out to him and Jim's smile falters. He doesn't take it, just stares at the petal in your hand like you've handed him a wounded bird. Oh, I thought you'd... Oh, was I supposed to keep it? I'm sorry, Jim. Never mind. There's an awkward beat, then Jim finally plucks the petal from your hand, tucking it into his pocket. I'll save it for you, in case you change your mind. I didn't want to steal your shit. What now? I'd rather just talk. Jim freezes for a beat, then laughs, a strained, breathy sound. You both go and sit by the fireplace. He sits too close, knees bumping yours. Talk. Right. Sure. What about? He toys with his sleeve, tugging it down as he thinks about what to say next. You ask about the carvings. Jim's shoulders relax too much as he lifts the large wolf from the mantel. He runs a thumb along the wolf's spine, where the grain splits like an old wound. Started whittling after I left home. Kept my hands busy. Funny thing, the wood carries a lot of memories. He leans in and hands it to you, pressing the carving into your palm. His fingers linger. Too warm. Tell me something. Tell me something you remember. Doesn't matter what. Something true. His thumb presses your wrist. For a second, the pulse you feel isn't yours. I remember running away once. I had a nightmare last night. I don't remember much. I had a dog like this once. Something true. I had a nightmare last night. Jim goes very still. The shadow behind him sway. I'm sorry about that. But dreams can just be dreams, not real. Jim's expression softens. His thumb traces your wrist like he's counting your pulse. Sometimes, though, I think dreams are doors. You ought to be careful what you invite in. He seems to catch himself, clearing his throat awkwardly. His fingers finally uncurled around your wrist as he got up. Anything else you want to do? I'll just go back to my room, I guess. You mentioned heading to your room, and Jim stills, thinking. Jim smiles, satisfied with how you spent your day. He leans back, remembering all the things you've done together with a slow, cat-like satisfaction. I knew you'd be good at this. Knew it. The hell? He's giving me such weird vibes on some of the things he's saying, and I know that's part of the game, but dear God, it's so confusing but so creepy. Guess we've done all I could think of for now. I'll come get you when it's dinner time. Get some rest for now. Jesus. Alright, you head back to your room for now, the door clicking closed behind you. I'd lock that shit. If you can. The sound is soft, final. You sit on the edge of the bed, the weight of the day pressing into your shoulders like hands. You stare out the frost-veined glass, the storm still rages, snow piling in drifts against the pane. Your breath fogs the cold surface. Your breath evens out, fogging the glass in rhythmic pulses. Without realizing it, you trace the same looping pattern Jim used to stir his coffee into the glass. You were feeling more accepting of your situation, or maybe resigned is a better word. The snow no longer looks threatening, just inevitable, like the turn of seasons. Think about what you've seen. The wind howls outside as you lie stiffly beneath the quilt, staring at the ceiling. You reflect on what you've seen today, the first day staying in the cabin with Jim. Your palm tingles where the petals touched you, a phantom chill that won't fade. You press your hand to the mattress, but the cold lingers like a brand. The flower was too cold, too perfect. And Jim's reaction was playing on a loop, dismissive even when his breath stilled. You clenched your fist, the scent of frost and iron still clinging to your skin. You could still picture the way the puzzle piece had fit together under Jim's sure hand. The shadows of the cabin, the lurking wolf with its golden eyes, and the figure at the tree line. The piece it held had been missing. Now, in the quiet of your room, the memory nagged at you. He's been a surprisingly attentive host in his own way. The breakfast was hearty. He remembers the little things, the way you take your tea. There's something almost comforting in the way he moves, like he's memorized the shape of his solitude and simply let you step inside it. Jim's still careful with his words and still watches you a little too closely, but there's no denying it. You've gotten closer today. The shadows stretch across your room and you begin to wonder if it's evening time yet. Jim hasn't come to get you, but the hunger in your stomach pulls you out of bed. When you get up, you notice the door is slightly ajar. Were you freaking watching me? You could have sworn that you had closed it. Jesus Christ, it scared the hell out of me. The storm has trapped you both inside for another day. The wind howls through the cracks in the cabin walls, but Jim seems almost content. He sits at the table, small knife in hand, whittling away at a block of oak. His movements are careful and precise, like a man performing a sacred rite. He doesn't look at you, but you catch the way his fingers linger over the wood, shaping it with something like reverence. Gently alert him to you. What are you making? Jesus. Jim jolts to your present and nearly nicks himself. Ooh, I'm sorry. Des, I didn't realize you were there. Aw, it's a bunny. It's a carving of a rabbit. A small, fragile thing, ears folded back, body coiled as if ready to flee. That is really telling that that's something you notice, that it's a bunny more in fight or flight mode, not relaxation. When the carving is finished, Jim hesitates. His thumb brushes over the creature's back, passing over its form. He seems to consider the object in his hands before putting the carving away into his pocket without another word. You note a flash of pain across his face before he turns away. Stop him. Stop him! Jim freezes, his fingers tightening around the carving. When he turns back, his gaze is searching. Wary, but there's a fragile hope there too, like he's bracing for rejection. Do you want it? Accept it, but don't wear it. Reject it. Why in the hell would I break it? You know what though, honestly, I'm sure there's a long story of why I should choose these two things, but I'm gonna accept it and wear it. Why the hell not? You trace the carving with your fingertips and you want it around your throat. That sounded so morbid. Jim seems to read your desire and tentatively take the carving in his hand. With a twitch of his lip, he picks up his knife again and whittles away quickly. He carves a small hole through its heart and threads it into a leather cord. Why? I love this so much because there's so much symbolism of what's happening right now. Like, it's very eerie that it's very clear that it's going through the heart of this carving. He hands it back to you with an expectant look. Can you put it on me? Let's Titanic this shit. Jim stiffens for a heartbeat, then herbally obliges you. The first thing you notice is that the cord around your neck is tight, a collar disguised as jewelry. The thin leather knotted snug around your throat is not enough to choke, but enough that you always feel it there. The wood is smooth, almost too delicate, like it might splinter if gripped too hard. Jim's eyes burn in the dim light at the sight of you, breath shallow. I knew it would suit you. Do you think I'm weak? I will bite your face. He shifts closer, his knees brushing yours as he reaches out to adjust the carving. His touch lingers, warm, callous fingers tracing the curve of the carvings back alongside your skin. You, fit you better than I thought it would. There's a weight to the words, something deeper than just the carving. Oh god, he probably thinks I'm weak and he's gonna kill me. He starts pacing around the room, looking at the fire, peering at the walls. Let me see. I'm just checking my sound stuff. We're good. He's stalling. You can tell by the way his shoulders stay tense, the way his gaze keeps flickering back to you. Finally, he exhales, running a hand through his hair. I'll have to make you more things if you like. When he starts to retreat to his room, his steps are lighter than usual. I'll see you soon. Night. He strides into his room without another word. With nothing else to do, you also head back to your room. No dinner for you. I didn't catch that wolf, but it seemed different. The bed creaks as you settle in, the blanket's too stiff, the air too still. I'm gonna die. You try to sleep, but it comes in shallow waves. Each time you start to drift to sleep, the shadows at the edges of the room seem to shift just slightly. A thud, a muffled curse, the creak of floorboards bearing weight. The cabin is too quiet for the sound to be anything but deliberate. You sit up. A sliver of light bleeds under your door. Someone's still awake. Jesus. You are drawn to the noise and venture out of your room. Night falls heavy over the cabin, the fire reduced to ember, the wind has quieted, and the silence is worse, thick with unsaid words. Jim stands by the window, his back to you, fingers absently tracing the edge of the wood-carving shit. You can see the tension in his shoulders, the way his breath fogs the glass in uneven bursts. He knows you're watching. He always knows. Jim? A shudder runs through him when you call out to him. For a long moment, he doesn't move. Then slowly, he slits the carving knife away and turns to face you. When Jim turns to face you, the moonlight paints his face in blue and shadow, his eyes dark and unreadable. There's something raw in his expression, something hungry and hesitant, all at once. Couldn't sleep. Don't tell me this man's a werewolf. But you should be asleep. His voice is rough, raw. I couldn't sleep. I heard you were awake. You agree and head back. I heard you were awake. Then, I'm sorry for bothering you. The air between you is charged, electric. He swallows hard, his gaze flickering to your lips, then away, like he's afraid of what he might do if he looks too long. I'm scared. Step forward slowly. This doesn't look like... Yeah, that looks like get the hell away from me. Jim hesitates, his hand hovering your face like he's afraid to touch you. Is he gonna punch me? When you lean in, he lets out a shaky breath, his fingers finally brushing your cheek. The kiss is soft, almost tentative, a question, not a demand. His lips are chapped from the cold, but warm. So warm. When he pulls back, his eyes are wide, vulnerable. I didn't... You kiss him again, and this time he whimpers against your mouth, his hands trembling where they cradle your face. Jim avoids your eyes afterwards, his ears red. He touches his lips like he's trying to memorize the feeling. Jim suddenly pulls away from you like he's been touched by fire. I have to go. He begins grabbing his heavy winter clothes and heads for the door. You reach out to him, but he gives you a dangerous look. Don't follow me. He leaves the cabin, the door slamming behind him. The door clicks shut behind him and there's a beat of silence. Then, the unmistakable click of a lock engaging. Go back to bed. You hear distant axe hitting wood outside, over and over and over. The night stretches on, and Jim's touch lingers like a brand. And Jim seems to have no intention of returning tonight. With nothing else to do, you head back to your room. You lay back down in your bed, filled with thoughts of Jim, but your eyes grow heavy with sleep. The storm murmurs against the windows, a lullaby of wind and creaking wood. You drift into sleep and the dream comes like a whisper. Oh, there's more to this. You stand in a cathedral of snow-laden trees, their branches clawing at a sky as deep as oblivion. The air smells of frost and something older, moss, blood, burnt sugar. The carving around your neck tightens and drives you forward. Before you is bare earth. The ground twitches where your shadow falls. You feel something between your teeth, and when you pick it out, a white flower, moist from your inside, silver veins throb mockingly at you. You don't recall their name, yet their tongue forms the shape of it anyway. Moon petals. Is that what they're called? How do you know? There are wolf tracks. Deep, deliberate. They lead you forward without a choice, the tree seemingly curving into you, pulling you in. Something moves in the dark. Not a wolf, not a man. A shape with too many joints, its shape stretching farther than the light should allow. Oh, Lord. And those eyes, they glow impossibly bright, drinking up the shadows. A voice hums. Jim's voice? No. Deeper. It curls through the trees in fragments. What do you have, Rabbit? Your palm grows heavy. You unclench your fist to reveal. It's a moon petal, now fully bloomed. Its center is a perfect black pulp. Its mouth doesn't move. The words bloom from behind your ribs. The cage is beautiful because it was built just for you. Won't you sing for him? The figure laughs, and the sound is Jim's. Warped, delighted. Stay a little longer. I've been starved for you for so long. Woo! Alright. Oh god. I've made so many mistakes. I do. Okay. Okay, so this would be day 2. Okay. Alright, so that was Chilling Devotion. That was really good. Romance novels are kind of weird for me. I don't know how I feel about them always 100%. This one was like the perfect amount of romantic, but like a high sense of creepy. I absolutely love this. This was awesome. Oh my god, I'm so mad that it took me this long to get to it. But Jesus, that was so good and so creepy. Oh my god. Oh, I love it. What did you guys think? And I love the symbolism that's coming from this game. I want to know from you guys, like, what do you think is happening here? What are the symbols that you've kind of picked up that maybe I missed? There are so many little details here, and I now cannot wait until the other days. I think it said there were gonna be 5 days in total. Oh, I cannot wait. Oh my god, I want to get into it so bad. I want to know what the hell's going on. That was fantastic. And I think I shared like a lot of my opinions going into this game, but you know what? Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you picked up on. What are your theories about what's happening here? Also, do you think I made the right choices? Do you think I should have done something different? I think at some point I may go through and just kind of like play with the decisions. Definitely after all the days are released and we get through and make our own decisions, and then kind of like play around with the decisions. We'll see. I don't know. I'm at an hour 5 right now, so this is a pretty long game, so I don't know, but we'll see. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining me on this long adventure. I really hope you enjoyed this, and I hope you had fun with me. Like I said in the comments below, tell me what you think is going on. Do you think I made the right decisions? Do you think I made the wrong decisions? What decisions would you have made? Any and all, what do you want to call it? Conspiracy theories, leave down below. Give the video a thumbs up, definitely, if you want to start seeing more these kind of games. I definitely will go through and play all the days as they're being released, but yeah, if you are a returning sub to my channel, thank you so much for your support. It means everything to me, and I appreciate you more than you'll know. And if you're new to my channel and you've made it this far, you're a trooper, and I respect you highly. Thank you so much for hanging out with me, and I hope you take a chance and subscribe to the channel, because I would love to see your face here again, and I would love for you to be part of my little corner of YouTube. Anyway, guys, till the next video, please take care of yourselves. Know I love you, and I'll see you on the next video. Bye.